Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh my God. Not again.
We've been talking for 2 hours already.
We just did a podcast together.
With Jordan Jesse Go.
Yes.
And that's coming out tomorrow. Or came out last Tuesday. One of those two things.
But so I was trying to conserve all of my energy because I knew we would come right to here and talk again.
Right. And here's too much info. I have a headache. I'm so sorry. Is that something anyone's ever said on a podcast? They probably shouldn't. But don't edit it. Leave it in.
We've never edited. Almost never edited.
Very little editing. There's occasionally. I remember one of the early episodes. I think I called Carmen Morales Carmen Lynch, and I made. I think it was Aristotle or somebody let me record an addendum in the beginning. Oh yeah,
remember when you cared that much?
Just weird pill that Kyle's just going to hand me and I'm going to take. All right, I'll take it.
You're wearing a new jacket that says Comedy Works Denver.
I know.
As if to shove in my face a club I don't work yet.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about the Comedy Works Denver. It's a delight.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's amazing. I did Wednesday. You can't do it because it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Hey,
Sunday.
asshole, I have hiatus weeks.
Yeah, you do. And you'll be happy to know that everybody asked about you.
Really?
Yes. So there you go.
All right.
Now, but I'll say this.
They said, why does she keep emailing her avails? Can't she take a hint?
It was super fun. The staff, as is the best example of how things are going, was super happy. Mm-hmm. And they do that thing with the phones where and they're trained. So everybody puts their phones in a bag.
No, they do that. I've never worked a club that did that.
Yeah, both of them. And I did the out of town one. I did the suburban one in Greenwood.
Yeah.
And by the way, I had Denver comics telling me that the crowds were not as good as the downtown ones, and that's the only other one I did. I did the downtown one 2 years ago. This one I did, and maybe they weren't as good initially, but they're 10 years at that spot, and they were amazing.
So do comics work to do them back-to-back headliners, those clubs, or do they?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they...
it's not like Gary Bynum back in the old days used to give you 6 weeks, 2 weeks at each of his clubs.
It's not a Yuck Yucks tour. You're doing all the Yuck Yucks in Canada. It was... but they do have an interesting... Because, they only do locals. It's all local.
Right.
So Wednesday night I get there.
How many?
How many comics?
In front of you.
There's MC, a 7-minute and a 20-minute.
Okay.
So,
but it's a different 7 and 20 every night?
Yeah, almost.
You can't check out mentally. You have to watch everything.
Right. You do have to watch everything just to make sure that you know. Like the guy who featured last night, he did both shows. Mm-hmm. His name was Mike, and he was great, and I wish I could remember his last name. But
how many mics are there in comedy, Jackie?
I know. There's just the one mic. And it's like Jackie's. We're like Josh's. Anyway, so, But he was really good. But second show, and he got off stage on the first show, and he said, I meant to do this thing about Congress, having more women in Congress. And the second show, luckily I watched both sets because he did it. And
did it step on anything?
No, but only the fact that he was just talking about, like, what I've noticed is that nobody was doing anything political. He was the first guy to do anything political. And I have 20 minutes of, sort of... Nazis and Me Too kind of things that I'm working on.
But it's not political.
Right, it's socio-political.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a Trump
I don't
voter
name names.
could listen and still enjoy it.
Right, except for when I tell them to eat a bullet.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
And then you call it back 7 times. That's what bothers me.
That's the important thing, when I tell them to fucking jump off a cliff. I did really good because Denver's the only place. Denver and Dallas are the two places that play the shit out of my albums.
Oh.
So it's almost like being famous.
Wait.
It's just like being famous because everyone knows who I am.
What do you mean there's independent comedy radio stations
There's
there?
a 24/7 comedy radio station
just out of Denver?
out of Dallas, but it plays in Denver too. Those are the two. Those are the two markets, and they play all of my albums.
Nice.
All of the time. So every night I'd get up and I'd say, so you guys, because they would cheer like crazy. I got a standing ovation.
Oh my God.
Which is insane. And I could not have been more embarrassed. And it was lovely. But the thing is so I would
bet at the end of your set, right?
Yeah.
You earned it.
I did earn it.
Yeah. You guys were sipping hot cocoa.
You were having cocoa.
On a cold night.
On a cold
and we
night
don't
in
care
Los
if you hear us
Angeles.
slurping.
I guess, which you just did. I'm so sorry. Now, okay.
I'm moving the mic to slurp. But you do how you do, Jackie.
I'm just trying to live my life over. I'm trying to tell you a story. But here's the thing. So I get up and I tell him, I'm like, you'll be happy to know I'm working on a new album because you've heard all the other albums.
Yeah.
And and then the people who have heard all the albums go, oh, good. And then I say, and now those of you who don't know who I am are about to be like, oh, I thought this would be better. Because it's an hour. But get this, by the end of these 6 shows, because I've been doing so many headline weeks.
Yeah.
The beginning of the week, I was running 51 minutes. Mm-hmm. By Saturday's second show, I would hit 41. And then, because I still don't have a closer, though I have an idea for a closer.
Yay.
Yes. And, but I'd hit, because I was hitting 45 on Wednesday.
Right.
And then I'd do my tantric sex closer. Mm-hmm. On Saturday,
which
second
you
show.
can't do on another album. So that's why.
That's it.
Yeah. But you're working a comedy club. You got to fucking close your show.
I got to close the show.
Right.
They deserve a happy. They deserve a happy ending. Hello.
Yes.
Hi. And but by the end of it, I had shaved 4 minutes off of the set, and it was great.
That's great
because that means everything's tightening up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's pretty great. And I'm doing this just really. I wrote a new chunk about women being people. Huh? It's great.
Yeah.
And I've been
sounds
working.
revolutionary.
It's revolutionary. I'm breaking boundaries here. I'm calling women people. And but that women as people thing has got a new angle to it that I think, like when you write a joke and you finally find the right angle.
Yeah.
Or that's how I spend my life looking for because I'm like,
Yes.
I'm going to tell this story again and again and again until I find the correct angle to write the joke from. Mm-hmm. And so that's what happened, and it was awesome. And also one night, the owner of the Omaha Funny Bone was in the audience Thursday, and I've never worked it, but Augie Smith swears by it.
I worked it a very long time ago.
So do you know her, Colleen Quinn?
Yeah, I don't know if she remembers me, but I think I featured.
Oh, she does know.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she remembered you and Karen Rontowski.
Okay. Did she ask about working us?
Well, I think that it was implied, and I think that we should all send her our veils.
Okay.
And including Kyle. Because get this, Kyle. They have a condo that, because my first question, of course, was, do they put up headliners and at a hotel? And she goes, we do. We also have a condo that is good. And then and I like to put up the features. And I was like, what? And I said, I have at least 100.
Not standard anymore?
I know. But I said, I know at least 100 features who would love to hear that. It's just a place to crash, even if you have to do what we all did in the 90s, which is clean it the first day. And she seemed super clean, but condos are condos, so. Except for the Denver condo, which is clearly like a team is
stay in
there.
a condo.
I did stay in the Denver condo. This is the second time I've stayed in a condo.
Does the Comedy Works downtown have a condo?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're both walking distance from the club.
Okay.
And they're both, they're amazing, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. And like professionally decorated.
Right.
And the one downtown, actually, when I stayed there 2 years ago, they had canvases. I think I told you this at the time, but they had art. They want you to make a painting, a tiny painting, and then they hang them all up on the walls. Mm-hmm. And I guess Emily Heller was the first one, and they wouldn't hang hers up for months because it was so good. They didn't want to intimidate anyone. She did a self-portrait.
Oh my God.
And I saw it, and it was amazing.
Wow.
It turns out Emily Heller could paint, or at least she could paint herself.
Oh, neat.
Good for her.
Now, My only fear with
Emily.
comedy condos is sleeping in comedy semen.
You're not wrong. There's nothing to be done. The sheets get changed. I mean, it has to be super clean. These are the cleanest condos I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
And so, I mean, Jimmy Pardo, I think, put it best when he said, I don't want to stay anywhere that I know the person who was jerking off last week. And he is not wrong either. But the only weird thing was, and I think I told you this on the way over, was that there's a divot in the mattress that like Bert Kreischer and Tom
Created.
and Tom Segura have both laid there.
Well,
Because it's the side of the bed that's near the door, and so
Right.
everybody sleeps on that side. So the first night I slept on that side, and then I noticed that it was like lower than the other half, and I'm like, I'm going to sleep on the other half of this bed for the other 2 nights.
it's the female headliner side.
That's a female. Well, I did look. You know how did you remember looking down? You look under the mattress for the porn.
I never did that.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
guys would leave porn for other guys, like it was
that's-
the woods.
How considerate.
It was very considerate, and but I thought this is a classy condo. Bet there's no porn. And so it came to pass because I looked at all the traditional places. I looked under the mattress. Then I looked under the box spring.
No one looks at magazines anymore.
They don't have to.
It's Pornhub.
Right. It's everyone has a device.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the internet, which also they have Wi-Fi. It's quite nice.
Well, that sounds delightful.
It was really, really fun, and the staff was nice. And the openers were all really good because she's bringing up good comics there.
I worked Omaha many years ago, and I remember flying there in some kind of, it was winter, and I had a giant suitcase, and the condo was upstairs, and like the show was starting in 20 minutes, and I had to drag the suitcase upstairs.
Yeah.
And because I brought way too much. It wasn't merch. It was like 15 different outfits. I just brought too much shit. I wasn't that
Right.
experienced. And plus I had a giant suitcase. I wanted to fill it.
Yeah.
And it didn't cost any money to check your fucking bag back then. So anyway, I remember a frantic dash to mad dash to the Omaha Funny Bone. And then they had some cool coffee houses. This was early 90s, pre-Starbucks taking over coffee. And
There was a coffee shop within walking distance. There's a restaurant attached to the club that you can go to and eat at. It was lovely. And then there was also, because it's next to the fanciest suburb in the world in Denver, I told, all right, yeah, we have talked before this.
we tried not to.
We really did.
We did eat up some time on the drive over here because Jackie and I left together in my
Yeah,
car.
exactly.
And telling each other our inappropriate comedy crushes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you blew my mind with a few of yours.
And I was just sad
And you were
for you.
were just Googling mine going, who?
And I was like, that guy? And then I saw him and I was like, oh, I see.
The heart wants what it wants, to quote the great and sexually appropriate,
Right, but
always Woody Allen.
Right, and I was explaining the comedy crushes I had that were different from the comedy crushes I had. Right, like the comics.
When you're in love with
versus
their
the
comedy
men
versus
folk.
in love with them.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how I'm just a better comic.
Well, one of
What?
your dates.
What just happened?
The guy you went on a date with was shocking to me. I couldn't believe that.
Oh,
you
that
dated
haircut?
guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
And then we were frantically trying to figure out what he was doing right now.
And what did we find out?
Not a lot of comedy.
Not a lot of comedy, but he
It
has
happens,
a very
people.
thorough website. Yes, it's a very thorough website describing the things he's really good at. It didn't take our date, but he was always a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. There's a lot of people, that they hit it hard for like 10 years, and then I
Right.
don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, the thing is it's a grind. It's a grind, and
It is.
eventually, and men stop doing it just as much as women stop doing it, and women, there's so many great women right now that you're like, are you going to make it? But I think they have each other, so I think there's better odds.
That's definitely helpful.
Yeah, there's better odds.
Right. I mean, the person we were talking about on our text chain a while ago who stopped, but you
Yeah.
made it seem like she kind of wanted to stop.
Right.
But did she want to stop because it was so wretched in the 90s when she was headlining?
Right.
I mean, it's not like that now.
No.
You know, if you're headlining, it's a little bit nicer. You do get a hotel most of
Right.
the time, you know, staying with a bunch of dudes and...
Right. You
You
don't
know.
have to hover with some condo that somebody's mom is cleaning.
Right.
And with plastic runners. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Skyline.
And it's
Anyway.
less creepy. It's less creepy. There's less creepers.
Yeah,
or
there's-
people are just more aware, like, oh, this is a woman on the road, and
Right.
it's kind of awful for her in a certain way. So let me not be that one guy that's a fucking creep.
Right. And I I had to walk back from the hotel to the hotel
To the condo.
to the condo all weekend, and there was always one of the youth who offered to walk me home. One of the door guys.
Nice.
And it was nice. I sold so much merch.
Oh my God.
I know, but I ran out of Spooky Reading Girl pins. Meat
And
shield
how much
pins.
do you sell those for?
The pins I only sell for $10 because most people get 2 for $20. Wow. And I sell them for $20 if I'm working a theater or something where they take a cut.
Right.
Then I'll sell everything's $20 each.
Yeah.
And then I make a greater profit, but so does the ACLU if it's a meat shield pin. But,
Right.
yeah.
And so you sold a lot. Did you sell any Jackie and Laurie notebooks?
I didn't bring any Jackie and Laurie notebooks or totes. The one person did ask me, and there were a lot of people who were like, when are you guys going to do? And I said, well, I don't know, maybe High Plains will have us.
High Plain. Oh, the comedy festival?
Yeah. Remember the comedy festival, High Plains?
Yeah.
I did it last year.
I mean,
so
I
don't
know
why
of
they'd
it.
have it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd have me again. I think. I don't know that they've announced anything, so never mind. But I might come back. But we could.
I'm
go
used to
back.
having my hopes dashed, Jackie. What do I
Right.
care?
Well, we got to figure out a place to do Portland this spring.
I guess so.
Yeah, and then because we're doing QED, QED will have happened, and then when this drops, because this is
Yeah.
tomorrow's. It's
So that's it for us for live stuff for a while. We
Yeah.
don't have anything else on the books.
right. I want to do Portland, and then somebody asked me if we would do Petaluma, and then somebody asked me if we would do Huntington, Alabama.
What?
And I was like, how come nobody's asking Lori if we'll do?
Huntington, Alabama. Was that just the one resident of Huntington?
It was
Huntsville
might
is
be.
a.
Was right, and I think we did it one time.
Oh, that place. Oh,
Yeah.
that was fun. Where we
Yeah.
stayed in the house with the mannequins?
with the horses.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
the carnival
carousel.
house? Yes.
Yeah, it was like
That
a
was
carousel horses and mannequins.
quite unforgettable.
A boatload of doilies.
Well, I was in Los Angeles this week.
Oh, yeah.
And I had 3 spots on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a 6 p.m. I was on the 6 p.m. show at Hermosa.
Yeah.
And then I was doing Tammy Joe's 8 p.m. show
At the store?
in the belly room at the
Okay.
store. And then I did Good Heroin. And so
Oh, wow. Over at the bookstore.
Oh, yes, a lot of driving. A lot of fucking driving.
Oh, yeah.
Like I left at 4:45 and I had asked Richard if I could go first or early.
Yeah.
So I can get to
Yeah.
the store on time. And he said yes. And then 4:45 departure time, not enough time to get there by 6 o'clock. So it sucks. I mean, when you ask to go first and then
Yeah.
you're late, you're a total asshole.
Right.
There's no
right.
getting out of it.
There's no getting out of it. And
Because everyone else
tried
drove in
to
the same
plan.
traffic I did.
Yes. But
So-
but how are you going to leave at 2:30? You can't.
I know.
Yeah.
So it was fine, but I felt like an asshole.
Felt
And
like a
then
jackass, yeah.
driving up to the store was fun, and then going over to Good Heroin, that was good. And then on Friday, I also had 3 sets on Friday.
Wow.
I was okay. So I was doing like a show at 10 o'clock at the Westin for a gigantic group of sober women.
Oh, you did some sort of weird benefit for.
I don't know if there's a benefit. I'm not sure what they were doing.
It was people are sad. You went and
Yes.
did stand up for them. Good
It's
for you.
It's the step stuff. I try not to ask too many questions. I respect everyone's privacy. But before that, I was doing Owino Vino. Is it in Atwater Village?
yeah. It's in that weird.
It's that downstairs
Yeah.
in that little.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I love it. It's
Yeah.
great. And that was an 8:30 show, and I had an
Yeah.
8 p.m. show at the Lab. So
What?
Yes. And so I get to the lab and I'm already like, how am I going to make all the, like I have that, am I going to make all these energy? And I can hardly focus on my set because I was like,
I hate that.
I hate it too. And the audience wasn't great, but I feel like I could have had a better set had I not been preoccupied with my commute, right. Cause I had to go all the way over to Atwater Village and then down to the Westin.
Yeah.
So as the night wore on, I got better because I was less worried once I started making my spot times.
Right. Once you started doing at least one spot, you're like, oh, I made the first one. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the late show at the sober place was great. It was
So
and I
full and happy people
and I came up. Here's the thing: I came up with a way to do a line that was different and better, and it got a really great laugh. And I'm like, it's solved. And then I did it again on the 6 p.m. show the next night at Hermosa.
Yeah.
And then it kind of didn't work on some other
classic.
set. And I'm like, fuck, what's happening?
But you can get it back.
I know. I mean, I haven't recorded,
Yeah.
and I did listen to one of them, but I
Did you listen to the one that worked or the one that didn't
the one that
work?
worked.
Good.
But I also feel like all these jokes right now that I'm working on are like that's like a car that's been taken apart and everything's just out in the garage, and you're like, I fucking can't put this engine together.
Right.
So nothing feels solid, but it feels like it should have been finished a long time ago. That's how I feel right now. But I've had a couple lines I've added to bits that are already in rotation, so I guess it's fine, but I just wish I felt more solid. Everything just feels jello-y and an addition to a joke I think is like solid, then like 3 nights later it won't work, and I'm like, well, what did I change? And I'm just tired of going back and going, what did I do differently on this one so that this line didn't work as well?
Well, I keep, when you change the order and stuff, it changes the vibe, and the timing gets mixed up, and then you have to, and you're like, but maybe this will fix it if I change the order, because sometimes that's how you fix the joke. You just put it on its end or something. But
well, I don't know how, like, for me, if I can work on one chunk at a time, I do a little bit better. But I feel like I've got 3 chunks that I feel like are open and not closed and finished, and I can't seem to get a hold of any of them solidly, in my opinion. And I don't know how you and other people go up with a fucking hour of new premises that are undone and just start wandering around through them.
Well, someone told me that Natasha's working on, because she was in the downtown Denver. When I was on the suburb one, she was doing the downtown Comedy Works, and somebody said she's working on her new hour, and she brought up notes. And I actually got lost and had to pull out my set list at one point, which felt humiliating. Speaking of feeling like a jackass.
I can't do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'd rather do old stuff at that point if I can't remember something.
Right. Well, except for that I'm like, I pulled it out of my pocket and went to the vault at the same time.
Okay.
I'm like, I just did the Terrigen Mist joke.
Yeah.
Because that's what I assume was the reason I forgot. Is that I middle-aged lady time. Yeah. So,
right.
So, but because then I looked at the set list and I was like, oh no, I either forgot to do a giant chunk that isn't on this list, or everything's so tight that I'm 4 minutes behind. And then the light went on, so I was only 40 seconds off. You know how like they light you and stuff?
Yeah.
And
so when do you ask for your lights on a 45-minute set?
At 45, because then I do 5 and get off.
Oh, so
I do 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked for a light at 35.
Oh, yeah?
And then I asked for a light at 45.
Oh, okay.
At 45, it's like, all right, you're home free. Anything else is afterwards.
That's what I always...
gravy.
Yeah.
And then at 35, I'm usually like, okay. So if I've gone too fast, or if I just have a few bits left, I'm like, all right, let me slow these down.
Yes.
But sometimes you get the light of 45 and you're like, whoa, I've got like 30 minutes left of material.
I know it.
So I can pick and choose. That's always nice.
Thursday night, I went out to dinner after the show with Natasha and Todd
cool.
Berry. Todd Berry was working some, just a run.
Okay. His
Fort
own
Collins
run?
and stuff. Yeah, just Fort Collins and stuff like that.
Wow.
And so it was Todd and Natasha, and Natasha's opener, a young man named Benji, whose name, you know his last name?
I do not.
Okay. But Kyle knows who I'm talking about. And he was really nice. And I didn't get to see his set because I met them at some Japanese restaurant. And it was so funny because Natasha was saying, she was talking about, the baby. And she was talking about
She had the baby with her?
No. The baby, I think, was home with her mom.
Oh, was Moshe on the road too?
Yeah, there was something happening. And
Yeah.
but she was... I think the baby was in the car. No, I have no idea where the fucking baby is.
By the way, when I first had a kid, I told that joke.
Yeah.
Like, I have a baby, he's in the car, whatever.
Sure.
And I didn't realize that's like Comedy
it's
Mom
covered.
101.
Yeah.
That's
It really
every
is.
that's every comedy mom's first joke.
But have you ever heard Bill Dwyer's joke about what he used to do? Because his kids are like in their 20s now.
Yeah.
But Bill Dwyer used to do this joke about how people are always like, "Where are the kids?" He's like, were you going to raise them? It's none of your business. And that was the premise. And it
I
was a
don't buy
great
the premise that people ask a man where the kids are. That's the premise I have a problem with. But okay, I'll go with it.
But you know what? It's fiction sometimes. Anyway,
Sometimes.
And but we had it was a nice dinner, and she was just talking about, at one point she said something like, I guess sometimes I can be kind of grumpy. And then there was a
Natasha?
lot of... Yeah. Said that out loud.
Yeah.
And then Todd and Benji and I stared at her. There was a beat of silence. And then she said, so whenever I do something like that, Moshe waves. He does the sign language for bitchy. and as a gesture of... And then I regroup and I get it together. And I was like, that is the fun... I want you to do that on stage, please.
Interesting.
But the thing is she didn't... I don't know what the actual...
That's a way to do a marriage. I like it.
And it's not bad. Everybody's got everybody's back, right?
Their wedding photos are so neat.
Yeah.
Did you ever see them?
Instagram?
I think so.
I think I saw some of
Really
the Instagram.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you see Baron Vaughn's
No.
wedding photos? Yeah, they're all over Instagram too. They're very lovely.
I'm not on Instagram that much, Jackie.
Do you
I'm
have
back
an
on
Instagram?
Twitter. Yeah. But,
You got kicked off Twitter again.
I know.
I don't approve.
It's stupid.
It feels like they're coming at you now.
It does feel like that. It's affected some of my tweets.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to, because you're second guessing yourself.
Yeah, right.
Because you're like, well, how am I supposed to?
Because it's not like I'm saying something deliberately inflammatory. So I'm like, how will this benign thing be misinterpreted by a Twitter bot? You know,
Right.
that's how I have to think now.
Yeah, or
Because I need
reported
it.
by a bot.
Yes, I
Yeah.
need to promote shows, and
Yeah.
I can't be off Twitter as
No.
a working comic.
Right, you would have to make a new account. I mean, luckily, I think you could. You could make a new account.
You could, but
But you'd lose all
over
your...
again.
Yeah, you'd lose all your... But what I do is I delete all my tweets. And so I only have tweets from January of this year. So I have like a month and a half of tweets up.
Well, I don't feel like old tweets are going to be haunting me. You know.
No, me neither. I don't like the numbers. I just don't like seeing the number of times I've tweeted.
Oh.
It feels like I'm not getting anything else done.
You're
It feels like, yeah.
Tina Fey's not on Twitter. How many TV shows does she have in production now?
Does she?
She does Kimmy Schmidt, and she's executive producer of Busy Phillips's show.
Oh, wow.
And I think she has something else.
where
in
the hell
works.
she was.
Yeah, working, fucking making money and great TV.
Right. Well, good for her. I'm not. I mean, I'm just writing jokes and hoping that someone gives a shit. And everyone does. Everyone's been very supportive. And this week, it'll already be over, but it'll be Valentine's Day. And I'm psyched about that because I'm going. But then I'm going to New York. I have a question. Do you think I'm doing the West Hampton Performing Arts Center?
Right.
Pete Lee just did it. Augie Smith is doing it, and I'm doing it. And we're each doing once a month. And Leah Bonema.
Oh yeah.
She's going to feature for me.
Cool.
And I keep forgetting to email her and ask her if she has a car or if I should rent a car. Because we have to go out to the Hamptons.
Can
and
you
then
take
back.
a train?
Probably.
Yeah, take a train.
I don't want to take a train.
Why?
Because I want to come home that night.
You could take a train that night.
I think the trains stop, don't they?
At some point, we'll fucking check a schedule. Why are you asking me? Take a
Because
train.
you are in New York all the time. You ought to know everything about every borough.
I don't go out to the
Nobody
Hamptons.
Does. Nobody does. So
Yeah,
but-
take a train will be easier.
I'm not taking a train. I think I might just
renting
rent
a car's a pain in the ass in New York City.
I know, but usually walkable.
What do you mean?
The last time I rented a car in New York, from the hotel. Like, it's usually like 3 blocks.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to go through New York traffic out to the Hamptons.
Yeah.
On what night? Friday night?
It's a Thursday.
Ugh, no.
Thursday's bad? In
Yes,
the winter? In February or whatever month we're in?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a weekday.
Yeah,
Go
that's...
take a train like a real person.
I know. Like, these Christians.
Let Leah figure it out. She'll figure out the timetables.
Yeah, maybe I'll just... She's
She's not going to stay over either.
Right. I feel like we're at 30. What do you think?
Feel-
Awesome. Let's do.
I feel like we're at 90.
Well, there's that. But the comic of the week, I just saw her again. I featured for her at Acme in the 92 or 93, and Nancy Norton. Nancy Norton. She just won the Boston Comedy Competition.
That's cool.
And she's sort of dry and
Very dry.
And one-linery.
Yeah, very funny.
But I saw a lot of that in Denver, actually, sort of one-liner dry.
Yeah.
And she didn't get to go. I just ran into her and I was like, oh my God, it's you. And she was like, Nancy Norton. Yes, we worked together. So it's Nancy and Mancy. Nancy, ANDMANCY. Nancy and Mancy. Nancy Norton. Doing a lot of corporates. She adopted a kid.
She did?
Yeah, she adopted the kid like a dozen years ago or so.
Wow.
And so she's been raising him, and so been
Did
doing
she go
more
out of the
corporates.
country to adopt the kid, or is like?
I didn't get a lot of. Yes, I think she. Wait, I think
Wow.
she did, because she adopted him as a little baby, but I think she did adopt him from another country.
Wow, that's pretty brave to do as a comic, to adopt a kid.
Yeah.
You
How
know?
Paula Poundstone of her.
Yes. Well, Paula adopted her. She had foster. I'm going to.
Yeah, that's
She
right.
had foster kids, and then she adopted them.
Which I think that's. I mean, not to belittle Nancy Norton. I think she's done the Lord's work here, but
She didn't adopt enough kids for you.
She didn't foster enough kids and then adopt them. So Nancy, get it together. But she is really funny. So find Nancy Norton online.
Wow.
And do that. And then we should also throw to a Max Fun show.
Yeah.
Unless you're able to discuss the semiotics of direwolves and Game of Thrones, Inside Pop is definitely not for you.
Sean, that's a little extreme and also not quite true.
Okay, Amita, how about Inside Pop is the podcast for people who love and appreciate the best pop culture has to offer?
Much better.
In every episode, we interview the people who create the culture you crave.
Past interviews include Luke Cage showrunner Cheo Hodari Coker, the music supervisor of the Florida Project, and Mudbound director Dee Rees.
You'll also get the very best pop culture recommendations in our Big Sell segment.
Plus, the opinions of 2 TV producers who are pop culture obsessives and actually do care a lot about direwolves.
Which, of course, symbolize our inability to truly connect with the natural world without ultimately destroying it and in the process destroying ourselves.
Listen to Inside Pop every other Wednesday on the Maximum Fun Podcast Network.
Okay.
Wow, that really felt heartfelt, didn't it? And let's do it again at 55, shall we?
Yes. Well, listen, we're thrilled to be on the Max Fun Network.
We had a really good time talking to those two banana heads.
Yeah,
right?
we just
Those
did.
two
Yes.
guys.
So we know that all their other podcasts are great, and you guys would like them too.
Jordan and Jesse, go. What else?
What else? I don't know.
But I'm looking forward to the Hamptons thing. I'm a little nervous about it because I never know what it's going to be like. And but
Who booked you on it?
Graham Slayton, the guy
think I
from
know.
Aspen.
Oh, I don't know.
He used to book the Aspen Comedy Festival when it was run by the city.
When was that? Was that
up
after
until-
HBO?
Yeah, way after HBO. It
Okay.
was after HBO, after Rooftop, and then when the city was doing it themselves. And he has always enjoyed my work, and so I have always enjoyed him.
Is
as a
Aspen
person.
still doing? Is Aspen still doing a comedy festival?
That I don't know. I haven't been invited since he moved out to the Hamptons.
Okay.
And so, but he
In general, a horrible comedy town.
Aspen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because well, first of all, you're a million feet in the sky.
You're
How can you breathe and tell jokes?
right. And how can you laugh at jokes when you're a millionaire?
Oh, right. I did a show. The last show I did for the Aspen Comedy Festival, it was Augie Smith, who made jokes about how rich they were and murdered. He was awesome because he is Augie Smith, right?
Yeah.
And then this guy went up, and all he did was berate them. Remember that guy?
Oh, of course. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yes, of course he is.
Well,
You corporate tools of the
yeah, you do
capitalism.
bad guys,
Oh, my
capitalist,
God.
and then
that must have been awesome. Did
it
you
was-
watch?
Of course, it was like watching a train wreck, and he got so mad at them, and then
Oh, yeah.
Augie went up right after him
Oh,
and murdered.
sure.
With more stuff about their Richie Rich lifestyles.
Yeah.
And but it was we were all there. I think Caroline Ray was the headliner that year. She's great. She was really great. She had a lot of stories. It was really fun.
Listen, she got mad at me because I said her name wrong once in like 1992.
In 92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've been
enemies.
not enemies. but I was like, okay, sorry. Like,
Well-
you don't have to mention it again.
That's the thing about 1992. That was the same year Judy Tenuta would not get into my 83 Ford Escort. So what are you going to do?
Well, also, and then she ended up doing a curb where she got mad at Larry for saying her name wrong. And I'm like, oh, that's her thing.
oh, okay.
She's very particular. And I still don't know which is the right way to say it. I'm so traumatized.
I went
Carolyn or Caroline.
I went Caroline Ray.
You could be wrong. And you'll hear about it if you are, I'm sure.
Bam! She will shut me down. Find me, Caroline Ray. Now, we actually we had a very nice conversation and then never spoke again. So, I mean, she was a very nice... I mean, that's the thing about famous people, and I'm sure I will be this famous person one day. Mm-hmm. Or just hopefully fabulously wealthy. One of those two. Or just the same at this level. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but there's a certain point where you meet so many people that when I meet somebody who is famous, all I want from them is for them to be distantly polite. I don't need anything more than that.
I don't want to deal with your fame.
Right.
It
Well,
makes
I mean,
me
the thing
nervous.
is, it was just like if you were the cool kid, right?
Yeah.
And you are distantly polite to me, I feel like that's enough. That's
Sure.
enough for me.
Sure,
That's
sure,
a
sure.
win. So who knows? So I have a bunch of sets in New York. I'm pretty psyched. Josh Gondelman sent me kind of a list. I'm doing
cool.
a bunch of stuff in Brooklyn. I'm doing a bunch of other stuff in Brooklyn. And then I'm doing some stuff in the city. I'm doing Lucky Jack's. You ever do Lucky Jack's?
I don't think so.
And I think I'm doing the one UCB that's still open. And
Which one?
UCB East, maybe?
I
Or Chelsea?
Chelsea is now. Well, one of them turned into something else. One of them was bought by the guy from Boston, who has the club in the Westin.
Boston Laughs guy?
Yeah.
I still haven't met him, and he's still not booking me.
I
I'm
haven't
disappointed,
met
sir.
him either, but he did book me.
But he did book you. Yeah.
and their ticketing software went down or was hacked that weekend.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. So that affected my numbers. Hopefully not so much that they won't have me back.
Right. Manager at the Comedy Works said that I did good numbers and I'm going to get a bump.
Hey, cool.
That's absolutely never happened before.
That's
And so I'm
awesome.
psyched.
So get a bump. You mean next time you come back, you'll
They're
get more
going to
money?
send me more money on this thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So is
but
that
but
part
it
of
hasn't
your-
happened yet. But
Yeah.
But I'm going to live in hope that because maybe she was speaking out of turn, but I don't think she was. I
Well,
think.
then you should work a room in Dallas if it's a Dallas station.
Right,
what
right,
about
if it's-
hyenas or something? Is there
There's a joke joint there, which I think is there's and then there's
I don't know which
improvs
club
and
is.
stuff. And
There's an improv, but
did you see those pictures of Jackie Fabulous opening for Maria in Phoenix?
yeah,
That was awesome.
that was cool.
But that's that stand-up live room that is because I think that there's like an improv or something that's too big in Dallas.
Okay,
Is what I'm thinking of, but I don't know that I could fill it. Right?
who knows? If
Right.
Jackie,
If
maybe you're a name in Dallas. You
Maybe
could
I'm an-
fill an improv.
Maybe I'm a big deal in Denver and Dallas. Maybe that's my hook.
Let's not say Dealey Plaza where Kennedy was killed in Dallas. Let's try to use a different word. Maybe you're
the
famous
Kennedys
in
are
Dallas.
a big part of your life. And people have gone back to the Dork Forest to listen to episode 2 of the pre-recorded because that's you and Kathleen Madigan talking about the Kennedys.
We were episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 of the pre-recorded.
What's the pre-recorded? Is that
there's
some sort of
208
age epoch in
there's
the Dorcas?
218 episodes that were live recorded. Essentially,
Okay.
they're buried on the internet somewhere. It was called Dork Forest Radio.
Okay.
Maria still thinks it's called Dork Forest Radio.
Okay.
And then the Dork Forest pre-recorded ones when I bought a Zoom. I didn't buy a Zoom. Maria gave me her Zoom. That's right. Anyway,
I bought a Zoom. We
you
don't
bought a
use my Zoom, right?
No, it's real nice. It's over there. Anyway, so it's probably in the pink basket. The pink basket of
the
cords.
thing you dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I left it on the back of a couch. I was probably not smart.
Maria,
Lori. I'm Lori.
you're Lori.
Thank
and
you.
you like to keep a basket of Fabergé eggs on the corner.
It's they're just adapters.
They're just cords.
Yes,
just
they're
adapters.
cords.
It's nothing. It's fine. Anyway.
I'm tired. I have nothing.
You don't have anything? Wait. So you'll be in the New York for the weekend
Yes.
that will have just passed
Right.
for QED.
I'm at Eastville on the 8:30
and then
show.
you come back again that Friday.
Yes, so next week, so I do our thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I fly back on Sunday, and then I have a colonoscopy.
Right. I still have to. I've been trying
Wednesday.
to sign up for one, but because we're all supposed to get our butts checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, do you know this guy, this comic? Do you know him?
No.
Seattle guy. He has
Okay.
cancer. He's our age.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy. Really funny.
Sure.
We did the Seattle Comedy Competition a long time ago together. Great guy. Great guy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. He's getting it treated. It seems like it's
It might be
treatable
treatable
and stuff.
Okay.
But Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Everyone's
it's coming for us, Jackie.
right. Death. It just is like it's just going to show up with a scythe. Please show up at our shows with scythes. That seems important. Everyone cosplaying as death at all of our shows.
I just learned how to pronounce scythe. Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
I thought it was Sith, no?
No. Sith is the bad guys in Star Wars.
Oh, enough. Make it stop.
I can't. We bought new furniture. There you go. How about that?
Yes.
Is that something to talk about?
Please.
Andy and I are adults. 2 couches ago was a free couch from a friend, Deborah Schuster, who was my boss at the time.
Okay.
Who was getting rid of a couch and a Hockney print that is we still have up at the house. And then the last couch we got a matching couch love seat chair from the Good Salvation Army in Pasadena. And so we've had that for 12 years.
That's a lot.
That's too long.
It's too long, and it's matching, which is a lot.
And it would squish down, right?
Right.
It was hard to. You
Sure.
were just there. The leather. You've both been on it. The leather weird with the hieroglyphs on it.
I try never to think poorly of people's furniture.
Well, and that's it makes you a good egg but we bought a couch and a love seat and a chair because we had people over for Andy's birthday and everything looks so junky, and I'm like, we're grown-ups. We have a credit card. Let's do this. And so we bought my first ever brand new couch love seat chair.
Wow.
And it looks really nice, but it does make the curtains look junky now.
Curtains
Because-
are so cheap to replace, though.
Are they? Where do you get curtains?
Bed Bath & Beyond.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to look into it.
Target.
Target has curtains?
Yeah.
No.
Macy's.
Well, Macy's has curtains.
Yeah, Target has curtains.
All right.
They got tabs. Do you have tab grommets? What do you have? What kind of...
We got curtain rods.
Okay.
And then we have those loops, those big cloth loops. That's
yeah.
the kind of...
I think that's a tab curtain.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who B. Smith is?
BEA?
No, just B, the letter B.
Nope.
Okay, so she's a designer, and I
Okay.
remember seeing her when I was trying to buy a duvet at Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm like, who is this lady?
Yeah.
She's got it. She's like the Martha Stewart of Bed Bath & Beyond.
nice.
Her, she worked her way to the top. She has dementia, and her husband is taking care of her, but he just wrote this post where he has a girlfriend now who used to be her friend. And it's a huge controversy
Yeah.
because she's sort of...
She's sort of still
She's
there.
not. Well, yeah, but not.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like she was so successful, and then it just got her.
Right.
Jackie.
I mean, the aging process is inexorable, and I don't approve.
I know.
Tomorrow,
I'm trying to smash in as many international flights with my son before I'm next.
Right. So I just sent off all this information to go on this 3-week tour of Europe.
Right.
And it was supposed to be with these two people, right? And
Oh, yeah.
and this, she canceled.
Oh.
There was drama, small amount of drama.
Okay.
And supposedly this person canceled.
Ah.
But I was just given the news that she didn't cancel.
Oh, that's good.
And then added 2 young men that I've never heard of.
So you're going to be hanging out with them for 3 weeks?
But I hope that she's still going.
Oh, I
and
do
I
too.
texted her and I asked her if she was going, and she has not responded.
Ugh.
So Vargas might just be trying to sell it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm going. I'm totally going to Europe for 3 weeks, whether I'm hanging out with just you and these 2 young comics, these 2 young male comics, or if I'm going to hang out with whoever I'm hanging out with.
Right.
Because who doesn't want to go to Europe for 3 weeks for free and drive around in a bus? It might not be super glamorous, but I'm also a little worried about the airplane.
That was the only thing I was thinking about was Europe's fine. How are you getting there?
Well, the Department of Justice books it.
Ugh, God.
Which
You're going to be like on a
United or American.
Right.
Which means that I may have to spend some money to bump myself up at least to first class on whatever flight they buy me.
What do you mean at least first class? That's the highest one.
No, I might fly it myself. I might actually just go to pilot school.
Oh, I see.
And then I would be the one.
No, so would you say, could I have your money for airfare and I'll just spend it myself on Delta?
The way
because your plane trip is half the vacation when you're going to Europe, when you're going that far.
Yeah.
Because that's like, what,
it's
12
at
hours?
least 1,200. Oh,
12, how many hours? It's like
It's
6 to New
probably
York
16.
and 6 to London, right?
right. So so I would say 12 hours.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But to my knowledge, the Department of Justice has to book the flight.
I don't think it's the Department of Justice. I think it's the Department of Defense.
Thank you. You are correct. The Department
I don't think
of Justice.
the DOJ.
The DOJ is getting involved in my stand-up
They're
tour
working
of
on
Brussels.
impeaching Trump. They really don't have time to get your
soldiers.
known traveler number and input it into their system.
I'm in global entry. I am so punchy. I don't even know what stories I've told, quite honestly. If I've offended Natasha Leggero by telling that story.
Oh, have you been worried about that for
the last 10 minutes? I certainly have.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. She seems she's
a mom. She doesn't give a shit now, right?
She was wearing a super cute shirt, and she told me she got it at Forever 21. So I went to a mall.
She still shops at Forever 21.
She can still fit into things from Forever 21.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I went to a mall in Denver because I lost a pair of pants. I don't know where.
My God.
It shouldn't. They're
What excuse does your husband believe that you told him about losing a pair of pants, you hussy?
How? I was like, so I go to the mall, and it's like one of those. It's a fancy suburban mall, right? And I go to Hot Topic. Because somebody sent me a thing that said that they had Ms. Marvel jackets at Hot Topic. But you remember that sketch?
I like how you said like that would convince me. You're like, oh no, I have this great story.
There was a real reason to go to a Hot Topic.
There's a Miss Marvel jacket.
There was a Captain Marvel jacket.
Okay.
And not Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel. And so
I did think that was a man when I first heard it.
Captain?
I was like, wow, I've been schooled. Yeah, I heard Captain Marvel. I'm like, oh, it's a dude. And it's like
Captain Marvel used to be a
Carol.
Dude. It was Marvel.
Oh,
but Captain Marvel, and it turns out is Cree. Too much info. Gonna keep going.
Okay,
but
Cree Indian?
Nope.
Oh,
Cree blue people from space. Kree. Anyway,
oh, okay.
So
I thought you meant
Cree, different. Yes. Native American. Perfectly.
By the way, I'm already exhausted from defending Elizabeth Warren. I'm tired. I'm like, I can't do these primaries on Twitter.
Oh, right. No.
People are going to vote how they vote, and you can't. We're fighting battles with assholes who have already made up their mind anyway.
Yeah, in 22 months. You know,
right.
So this guy who's been giving you guff for a week and a half, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It is fine. And so he's been arguing with him.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, the two of them can take a short trip over a very tall bridge.
Oh,
as far as I'm concerned,
dudes.
because they're exhausting. I've been explained to too many times.
Right.
And I'm not going to defend like Amy Klobuchar.
Right.
She threw a salad at somebody. Whatever.
Lisa Curry tweeted, she didn't DM me, it was a regular tweet, that Amy H. Klobuchar threw an iPad at somebody.
I was told that Brandy Brown told me that, who's a comic from Minneapolis, Comic of the Week previously.
I'm getting more excited by her by the minute.
Right, she threw a salad at somebody, is what Brandy Brown told me. And I was like...
She's fast becoming my favorite.
I was like, I don't know if you know this, but Lyndon Johnson used to sit on the toilet and call people in to have meetings with him.
Yes, and he physically threatened people.
He physically... I'm not saying... And he passed a civil rights amendment or some
You're
damn
right.
thing.
You're right. Please point that out on Twitter.
Right. Fuck. Like I was talking, so there was some guy who's like, I'm going to vote my conscience, even if it's not for somebody who can beat whoever. And I was like, dude, we don't have to talk then. I hope it all works out for you. And I'm going to, it's again, 22 months from now.
Yeah. It's going to be
It's a long haul. It's going to be the rest of our lives. And you know what? And then my other problem on Twitter right now is everybody who's like, we have 40 years left on this planet and then Earth and humans are dead. And unless we do something right now. And I was like, every person who said that to me, I picture them telling me they're never going to live to be past 30. You know, like, remember those banana heads and like there were 18s like, I'm going to live fast, die young. I'm going to die by the time I'm 30. And you're like, well... You seem exhausting, so go for it.
It's just going to get worse and worse, very slow,
until
incrementally, until people can't survive in some parts of the world, and they'll either die or they'll become refugees, and that will affect. You know, most of the United States will be okay for a while,
right?
I mean,
and then everybody will go to Canada,
yeah, yep. Or whatever. But
we're in our twilight years. We're fine.
I know we are going to escape it all. Most of it.
I don't think. I think it's going to be. I mean, the thing is it's like the beach thing. Stop complaining about the climate change and go pick up the beaches.
Clean a beach.
Clean a beach.
Yeah.
If you're so sad about it all, if you really want to do something, do something.
Yeah. I worry about young comics and how they're going to make a living.
Yeah.
Like when I was a good heroine, there were so many funny young comics.
Yeah.
Like there's one thing when you see people and you're like,
they booked that. That's a really good show.
Yeah.
That's always.
But when you see comics and you're like, okay, you're going to, maybe you'll be good in 5 years if you don't quit. Mm-hmm. And then there's other people where they're just good. And it's like, okay, where are you going to go now? Like,
right.
What is
next?
the comedy structure now? You know? I mean,
Kyle.
I know.
Kyle's like, what is it?
Kyle, there's so many of you. There's so many good young comics.
Right, I know. But we don't know what's
going to happen.
Right.
Like, at least we've carved out some little place, some little ledge on this fucking cliff we're trying not to fall off of, right?
Right.
God, I don't know. I sometimes I have no boundaries, and I have intense worry for people that aren't
right
that I can't help and aren't me.
Right.
And I just watched some really funny people.
Yeah.
That were young, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Some of them I don't even know.
I know.
Like every what is it, 3 or 6 months? I'll meet 10 new comics, and that have just moved to Los Angeles, and 4 of them will be amazing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Who are you?"
Right.
And they're like, "Well, I've been sitting in Huntsville, or whatever. I've been screwing around in Atlanta for the last 6 years, learning how to do stand-up comedy, and they're amazing, and they're wonderful, and." I mean, it's always. I know. I'm too busy booking you and Aaron Foley, and answering questions of other people's. What's Aaron Jackson up to these days? Well, if you'd like
in
me,
New York.
I know. I've given out her email address, but not nobody's phone number. I'm not giving out that. She was
Right.
worried that I might have.
yeah.
And I was like, I wouldn't give out anyone's phone number on a dare.
Right.
Not without their okay, obviously, right? And
Oh my God, Kyle,
can I ask
where are
Kyle
we?
where?
53.
53. That's good.
How about this? We'll drop in the next Max Fun ad,
Oh, good one. Good call.
and then we'll come back refreshed with 7 new minutes of things to talk about.
There's nothing quite like sailing in the calm international waters on my ship, the SS Biopic.
Avast! It's actually pronounced biopic.
No, you dingus! It's biopic!
Who the hell says that? It's biopic. It comes
It's
with
the
word
words for biography and picture.
If you
All right, that is enough. Ahoy, I'm Dave Holmes. I'm the host of the newly rebooted podcast, formerly known as International Waters, designed to resolve petty but persistent arguments like this. How? By pitting 2 teams of opinionated comedians against each other with trivia and improv games, of course. Winner takes home the right to be right.
What podcast be this?
It's called Troubled Waters, where we disagree to disagree.
Okay, so now that we're back, let me just, I'll say this, is I'm going to go see my dad, and my
Yeah.
dad's not going to come to my show, and
Yeah.
that's going to be good.
Yes.
But then I'm going to take him to breakfast, and Carmen Morales is going to come with me.
Your new
And
stepmom, Carmen Morales.
my new stepmom, oh, Christ, I forgot that we were doing that. We were saying that you were going to be my stepmom.
No, not me.
And Carmen Morales is going to be my stepmom. As my sister likes to say, because he got married a 3rd time, and my dad goes, I'm so sorry, we're not having anybody at the wedding. And Darla went, I don't go to anyone's 3rd wedding. And which I thought was the greatest answer.
That's great.
Ever.
Hey, I just
Yeah.
remember something. And you mentioning your family. I did Sugar Rush last week.
Yeah.
Where you do like 45.
The 45.
So it's a small crowd, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it's comics from the open mic.
Sure.
Which is fine. So it has which is it's good. And then, but you're like, okay, comics are watching me. So I sometimes feel a little self-conscious, but all right, that's enough. But then my cousin brings friends and he comes and I'm like,
Oh,
family's
God.
here. Oh, like I was hit on both sides
Right.
of being self-conscious of my jokes.
Doing 45 in LA can be weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it was fine.
Oh,
but
good.
but I guess my message is family should never tell me when they're coming to a show. I'd like to hear afterwards. Hey,
Right.
we were in the back. We really enjoyed it.
Yes.
It's better than, oh, we're coming. I'm bringing 3 friends. So now I have this obligation. Oh, you drag 3 people out of their home to see me.
right.
It's
Yeah.
too much pressure, Jackie.
Well, one of the managers told me that Wendy was going to come to one of the shows on the
No.
weekend, and I was like, "Which one?"
No.
And she goes, "Well, she doesn't want me to tell you which one." And I
Good.
was like, "Good," because I mean, I'm not going to change my act anyway.
No, but she shouldn't have told you that she was
Coming at all.
Right, exactly.
Right. And
Wendy is in Finland this week. She can't come
And
to the
then-
show and then surprise you.
Right, and then she showed up in, quite honestly, the cutest painter's jumpsuit thing that had Comedy Works all over it that her husband had made for her.
Oh, nice.
And then I knew which one she was at. It was the Friday first show.
Okay.
Because she came in before and we talked about comedy for a half an hour. And then she kind of bonded with, all the comics that were hanging out, and she hung out, and she watched my set, and afterwards she was like, I'll text you tomorrow, and then she didn't. So of course I am in my head. But whatever. I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going
What?
to keep doing stand-up comedy.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Not quitting.
Not quitting, even though I'm crazy and I'm in my head about what didn't happen, what did happen,
Right.
good things happen. So how come I'm not getting a parade? Fuck.
Dude, you got a standing ovation at that club.
Right.
You know that got back to her.
She was there for that one.
Oh my God, you're fine.
And it wasn't.
You're fine.
It wasn't like a huge standing ovation.
Dude.
It was like it was a good one though.
It's good enough.
It was a good show. Everyone enjoyed it. Good things happened. I want to be done.
Can we just be done,
we be
Kyle?
done?
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.